Hello Alex.
Hi.
And hello Bob.
Hello.
It's really good to speak to you. A new album's coming out, a new record is coming out. A lot is happening around Franz Ferdinand. It's been 6 years since your last album. In the past 6 years, I have moved houses. I have fallen in love. I've started working in radio. I've got 2 new cats. So I have a lot of stories to tell. If I were to write an album right now, what has happened in the last 6 years with you guys that has influenced the stories we're going to hear on this album?
Oh, wow. Okay. Gosh, lots of things. I mean, each song is kind of like a different story, a different sort of set of experiences. I mean, I guess one thing that had a big effect was the shared experience that we all had, which is COVID. You know, like, I think this record would have come out faster if it hadn't been for the pandemic. We also put the Greatest Hits album out. But they're not necessarily experiences that happened within that period of time. Like a song like Black Eyelashes is kind of about my Greek experience, having a Greek father and going back to Greece. Hooked is kind of about becoming a dad. And that's a big experience for me. You know, you've got 2 new cats, you know what it's like.
It should be a song that I could have written by then.
Yeah, right, yeah.
It's called The Human Fear. I think having the human fear as a theme throughout the album is, we could hear that throughout the lyrics. How could we hear it throughout the music? Is the human fear as a theme something we could hear in maybe a sonical change?
Well, I think that you don't hear the sound of fear as opposed to the sound of overcoming fear. Because if we wanted to make something that sounded like fear, it would sound like a Goblin Suspiria soundtrack or something like that, like a horror movie, or like, you know, like rather than that, I think, and even though the theme of the album is the human fear, really what the album is about is how we respond to fear, because that's what gives us our humanity. That's how we find who we are as humans, is how we respond to those fears that we all have. And I think to respond to fear, you have an audaciousness and a feeling of being alive. I think that's the sound of the record.
What was the most, except for COVID probably, what was the most frightening event that happened while writing this album?
While making the record, I mean, the house where the studio is haunted. You know, that can be quite scary. But
is it really?
Well, no, it is haunted. Like, and many people have commented on the presence. But I feel it's. See, this is the thing. I don't see it as frightening at all, because it's like saying you have to be frightened of all humans. Not all humans are bad. In the same way that, like, just because they're in that other realm doesn't mean that they're bad presences. Just they're there. That's all.
It sounds good because you've sort of overcome the fear you may be talking about on the album.
It's true, actually. Like, because I think most people naturally have a fear of ghosts in the way they'd have a fear of sharks or snakes. But really, like, most ghosts don't mean you any harm. They're just there.
What if they need help?
The ghosts.
But even then, like, they're not there to harm you. They just want your attention.
We should help them.
Yes, exactly.
We always want to drive them away, of course.
Yeah.
We shouldn't.
And sometimes they're not even needing help or anything. They're just hanging out. It's where they live, you know.
Wouldn't they rather be somewhere, like, else?
No.
Ghosts often appear during the night, of course. It gives a solid bridge to the new record coming out later this month, Night or Day. I've had a chance to listen to it.
Okay, great.
And to me, it sounds like the theme song to a modern cowboy western saloon with the piano very prominent in, in the melody. How long has this song been in the works?
That's cool. We actually wrote it a while. We were going to do it on the previous album, but we could never get it to sound quite right. It's true, like, often with our songs, if they're not working, we'll save them until we can get them to work properly. There were songs on the first album that had been written 6 years previously then. But I like that idea. I wasn't thinking about saloon bars or anything like that when we were writing it, but that's cool. I like that kind of music.
Looking towards the album, I hope that some new artists may have inspired you. A few years ago, you were, Alex, you were a co-host at 3 voor 12 Radio with Roos Marijn. You played, of course, a song by Pip Blom.
Yes.
Good friends of yours.
Yeah.
But also, and I had to write this down, Ya sé ha muerto mi abuelo.
Oh yeah,
a song
aye.
about a grandfather dying, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
But also The Gift. What new upcoming talented musicians, artists would you play now if you had the chance to control the playlist of 3FM again?
There's loads I would want to play. It's funny that you mentioned Pip again because I made a song with Pip. And we recorded it, which is great. And I think the last record that they did was fantastic, and they went to places that they hadn't done before. There's other Dutch bands that I love too. There's a band called Leusberg. I don't know if you know those guys. Lewsberg. And if I could choose a song to play right now, I would play The Corner, a song by them. It's brilliant. They sound like the Velvet Underground if they were cool. Who else have I been listening to that I like? English Teacher are cool. What about you, Bob?
There's a band in Glasgow called Brenda who actually have a Dutch member.
Just like Brenda as the name Brenda.
Yes, yeah. Floor is she's Dutch.
They did a little tour of Holland like 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
I played like 3 or 4 shows. But yeah, one to look out for, definitely.
Oh, we're going to check them out.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Maybe a collab soon with them?
Well, we toured with them. They came on tour with us in Scotland and we played 3 shows with them. So yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. About touring, next year, big tour, UK, Europe, South America, USA, Canada. Is it something you've missed? Is it something you've been looking forward to? Is it something you have to do? How do you feel about touring?
I love touring, but I particularly love touring when we have new songs to show people. And I can't wait to get out and to play songs from The Human Fear. You know, like I'm very... And it also makes me enjoy the old songs a lot more as well.
Do you think the old songs will blend in through like a new Franz Ferdinand set list?
Yeah, we've already played 7 of the new songs live. We did a little tour around Mexico, and they sit perfectly together, you know, like... yeah, in fact, better than I'd hoped even. Like, it was really cool.
So nothing's changing for the year then, for the listeners?
Well, yes, it's the same but new, if that makes sense. Yeah, it still sounds like Franz Ferdinand, but it sounds like new stuff.
And we're looking forward to going on tour because we see that as a big part of who we are as a band, like playing live shows. So it's like the reward for making the record. It's like then you get to go and play them and play.
It's something you work for. In
exactly, and
it's never stopping.
I love playing live. It's great. It's the biggest buzz in the world. You know. I feel very lucky being able to do it.
About playing live, you'll be playing at Serious Request 2024 later this year in Zwolle at the Glazen Huis. Just to be sure, the Glazen Huis, 3FM DJs are locked up in that house for a week. They're not allowed to eat for a week, and they raise money for the Meta Kids charity, a charity that raises money for metabolic illnesses and diseases for kids in the Netherlands. That aspect of not eating for a week, if you were to be locked up in the Glazen Huis for a week, you don't even have to present and host radio shows, but you just have to play and write music for a week, but you're not allowed to eat. What's the food you miss the most?
Ooh, bread.
I'd say potatoes of any variety.
Bread and potatoes. Sounds so boring, guys.
No.
I once did a 10-day fast.
10 days?
Yeah, a few years ago. No, you drink like a sort of like a drink of like maple syrup and lemon juice and cayenne pepper for 10 days. But by day, it's quite amazing. You get this huge rush of energy, and you clean. By day 3, you're like cleaning the house and like organising things. But then by day 7, I would just be in bed reading recipe books, like, and it's like
but just torturing yourself.
Yeah, looking at pictures of vegetables and going, oh wow, imagine.
So it's maple syrup, lemon juice, and cayenne pepper
and water. Yeah,
that's a good tip for the DJs in the Glazen Huis this year.
Yeah.
I'll write it down. Yeah. Serious Request. It's a week of amazing radio, if I say so myself, and we play only requests by listeners, by viewers, and to make a request, you have to donate money to charity. What would be, besides from donating money to charity, just what is the one song that you would apply as your last or maybe only serious request?
Do you know, I think I'd choose Good Luck Babe by Chapel Roan.
Oh, wow.
Because it's a new song and it puts me in a really good mood when I hear it. And I'd like the idea if I was... am I going to be in the glass house at this point?
Maybe.
Yeah, if I'm in the glass house not eating, I think that would give me some energy to keep going.
I can imagine that, yeah.
I'm going to go for a completely different vibe and say famous Blue Raincoat by Leonard Cohen.
Oh,
which
wow.
is the most...
It's about the opposite vibe.
The opening lyrics, it's 4 a.m, the end of December. Writing you now just to see if you're better. I think, you know, if you're not eating, it's the middle of the night, you're DJing, you haven't had anything to eat for 4 days, this is going to be it's going to fit the mood, I think.
Yeah.
I think so too. I have a little a test because you're going to be playing in Zwolle. I don't know if you've ever been to Zwolle before.
I don't think we have.
I don't think so, no. Is it quite a small town?
It's not a very small town. It's not, but it's also not Amsterdam.
Okay.
Just to get an image of Zwolle. I have 3 pictures of 3 famous Zwollenaren, so people from Zwolle. Right. And maybe you know them, maybe you don't. But I want to know if you think you know what they do for a living.
For a living, okay.
Or what they have done for a living.
This is exciting.
The first one.
Oh, football manager.
Yeah, total football coach.
Do you know from the past maybe? Manchester United defender.
He's, I don't know.
I don't know anything about football, so I recognise a type.
It's Jaap Stam.
What's his name?
Jaap Stam.
I mean, I don't know anything. I know who Kevin Keegan is, and that's about it.
Oh, he's a legend status in the UK, though.
Wait, he looks like a football manager.
That's correct.
He looks like he's got very astute eyes. Like he's looking. You're used to watching a small ball.
I like what he's done with his. I like what he's done with the hair and beard combo.
It's very stylish. Yeah. It's a good look. Very strong.
Yeah.
The next
Handsome.
one. Handsome. Yeah.
Is this one?
Oh, now. He's a mason because he's got his hand in his jacket.
He's also got the Cross of Malta.
So, do you think he's royalty of some description, or a politician maybe, like some kind of old prime minister?
Politician is correct. It's Johan Thorbecke. Right. He created the basis for our Dutch parliamentary democracy.
I was going to say, like created modern Denmark. Yeah. Denmark did. Holland.
Potato.
Yeah.
The last one.
He looks familiar.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
He's in a band. He's a musician, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like I've met him.
Yes.
Or seen him.
Who is that?
In Dutch, you would miss him the most if you were to not eat for a week. It's Herman Brood, which is Dutch for Herman Bread.
Oh, okay.
He's one of the most famous Dutch musicians.
Oh, okay.
With his Herman Brood and his Wild Romance.
Isn't it funny that we knew what all 3 of them did?
Yeah. It's like they're all wearing uniforms.
So
looks cool.
Some shoes to fill for when you're playing in Zwolle later this year.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in Zwolle.
Thank you. Yeah.
3FM.